Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our third day of TIC Asia Summer Course 2021. I'm Ita Yulianto from the Center of Southeast Asian Social Studies, acting as your moderator today. We have learned a lot from our previous lectures, and today we will have another interesting focus on media and digital culture in Southeast Asia. And we are so proud to have Prof. Dr. Pil Hermin Indah Wahyuni. Good morning, Prof. Hermin.
Hello, morning, Mbak Ita.
Prof. Hermin is the director of the Center of Southeast Asian Social Studies, my director. I'm so honored to be here with her today. And Prof. Hermin, she's also a senior lecturer at the Communication Science Department at the University of Gajah Mada. She completed both a bachelor and master degree at the University of Gajah Mada in Communication Science and Political Science, respectively. And she then continued her studies in Leipzig, University in Germany. And her research interest lies in communication policy, media and communication theory, ecological environmental communication, and public communication. Prof. Hermin, the time is yours, please.
Thank you, Mbak Ita. And good morning, everyone. How are you? After 2 days with the Asia summer course, I think that you have so many new perspectives. And this morning, I will try to share my perspective to explore the topic from the committee, give it to me regarding the media culture and more or less related with also the changing in digital landscape media industry in Indonesia. Yeah, and I hope this topic actually is very familiar with you, but I hope with the perspective of media and communication science, you will know better the problem of the media and communication in Southeast Asia related with the digital influence. I see some friends also here. Hello, Anilo. You are still very active. Hello. Yeah, in Southeast Asia studies. Nice to meet you again. And also many friends, new friends here. Okay, I will try to share the actually there's only some notes regarding what's actually happened to make our discussion is structuring, yeah, more better. Okay, I will start with this one. So media and digital culture in Southeast Asia, but maybe my perspective is more from the Indonesian perspective. And if we're talking about ASEAN countries context, so digital technology and bring many impacts in South Asia, but actually its region is characterized by international conflict, yeah, over social and economic priorities, and also there is the role of government reflecting contradictory traditions of regulation, information policy, social models, and political and also constitutional constraint make the system or to respond the latest environment in digital technology is very different. For example, if we take a look in Singapore, for example, they have so many regulations, they have so many structure to make it the balance, yeah, between the new influence bring by the new technology. So the context in Southeast Asia, I always use this table because for me it's really interesting from the table from Daniel Ping related with info state development level, that trying to put some countries in comparable perspective similar with the Maslow, yeah, hierarchy of needs from Maslow table. So here, for example, they map some countries in Southeast Asia with very different position. For example, Singapore and Brunei Darussalam in this table in the position of high or elevated, yeah, info-state development level. It means that only two kinds of society there, so artist and executive. So they are so already higher and above the normal standard. And Malaysia and Thailand here, Daniel Pink put it in the intermediate info-state development level. It means in that country, they only have four kinds of society structure. Yeah, there are farmer, worker, executive, and artist. So hunter is already not in this position. And Indonesia, for example, with Filipina and Vietnam. I hope we also have friends from Philippines or Vietnam in this class. They are in the position of moderate info-state development level. It means that in the society, it still consists of hunter, farmer, worker, executive, and artist. So the range from the people that still trying to find what is that, the standard minimal of life, yeah, you can imagine hunter and also fisher, for example. They go to the environment and bring something for eat. Yeah, so still in this country we have this kind of a structure, and also more stable farmer, and then blue collar, white collar, and then artist. Artist it is very special position because in this structure they don't think about what kind of food that they will eat. So they already thinking about something that beyond. Yeah. So in this situation, digitalization come to this context and make many things happen. So because this character of the technology itself. So if we take a look the ASEAN digital landscape, I still have data in 2019, for example. Here you can see that Southeast Asia is experiencing rapid growth, yeah, of internet, digital, social media, and mobile activities. So here you can compare each country, and almost in all countries there are rapid growth of the new media, with more than 400 million internet users in ASEAN itself, in ASEAN countries itself. So and double-digit growth in most segments and most countries of the region. So the digital sector is really booming and attracting a lot of interest. So I have a picture here that they make a joke that artificial intelligence is ubiquitously everywhere, eh? And everything is artificial intelligence because you engage, because ASEAN countries engage. Yeah? And there is a joke, yeah, like don't worry, there is an application for that, although the tsunami come, yeah, run, yeah, but people still thinking that application will help them. So artificial intelligence won't fix human stupidity. So that is a really contrary situation, how people should understand actually about the technology impact and the situation. Yeah, so that is a situation if we're talking about digital. So digital environment actually need requirements. Yeah, if you would like to be success in the digital environment, you have to reduce, yeah, such kind of digital divide, for example. Yeah, and you have to have like abilities, yeah, that you have to use it to be active in this atmosphere, like the ability, for example, here, abilities arising from the internet atmosphere or new media in general, the ability to connect, yeah, so you need the infrastructure, the ability to speak, so you express your idea, the ability to share, yeah, but to share itself, you have to have competence, yeah, to select what kind of information it is better for public to be known, or something that actually only for you, and the ability to choose, the ability to trust, and it is very important, trusting, yeah, because internet, new media is part of modern society, yeah, so the element of trust is very important. So you can imagine if the society, yeah, we have here Dr. Yuyun is a sociologist, yeah, trust in the society is very important to make it the complexity be reduced by the trust itself, yeah. But if not, then there will come up the new problem, yeah, in this situation. And you also to have the ability to innovate. So new media or internet in this topic, you have to have this kind of ability to make it you really have fully competence, yeah, to engage. But we also have another side of problems of digital divide. For example, in Indonesia, we still also have problem with the Java and outside Java issue. Yeah, there are some divide, some gaps. Yeah, it could be related with the infrastructure. So people in outside Java, for example, still have what is that weakness, yeah, to connect, for example, because the infrastructure. Or actually, digital divide is also related with the motivational thing, the material one, the skill, and how you use it. So this is the requirement that actually is very, very important in this situation. So I will more continue in the Indonesian context. I will start with the info-state development level we already have, and let us update about media environment. So if we take a look in the We Are Social, so this is a formal resources for us to take a look each country, and also in Southeast Asia you can also compare. So from 274.9 million, yeah, total population, yeah, there are mobile connection around 345.3, so more than the population, yeah. So each person in Indonesia maybe have 2 or more, yeah, mobile connection. And this is also very interesting data that internet user, people go online is around 202.6 million, or around 73.7%. So very high number. And if we take a look more specific, active social media user, there are 61.8% people go online, 170, yeah, 0.0. So in this digital with new media landscape, we can take a look more detail on how people spend their daily time, yeah, on media. So it is also very interesting. The data, the trend is very changing. If I compare with, for example, 2 years before, for example, here, people time spent using social media is the highest one, 3 hours, yeah, 14 minutes. And then look how the reading press media, yeah, online and physical print, for example, only 1 hour. So people, I think, do not anymore read the newspaper, yeah. So that is the daily routine actually for us in the university, but now the data is only 1 hour, yeah. But here is online and physical print. And radio, how about the destiny of the broadcast radio? Only 30 minutes, Yeah, the podcast is growth 44 minutes. Yeah, and people spend their time to playing video games. Yeah, and then also here listening music streaming service for 1 hour 30 minutes. So you can imagine, yeah, this is the landscape of how people spend their daily time on media. And this also interesting about TV, watching TV, broadcast and streaming around 2 hour 15 minutes. So number one is social media and then broadcasting. Yeah, and it will bring so many influence. If we talk about the landscape in our what is that communication and information and atmosphere, then yeah. Okay, we take a look the most used social media platform. Yeah, as you can imagine, YouTube, yeah, become the number one, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. So that's why when it was Monday, I think, for October, yeah, when the this corporation has problem, yeah, with the facilitation with YouTube, WhatsApp. So everybody like crazy because they cannot connect each other. So it is really, in my perspective, is crazy that people, global people, yeah, depend on several platforms from one corporation. Crazy. And I think that is a nightmare actually for the perspective of media and communication things, because it related with your food for thought, related with what thought that we have in the society and how the quality then the discussion in the society. So if we continue with the discussion changing landscape of media industry, I will try to mapping that Indonesia media environment colored by, so in one side actually there are mass media, one to many, yeah, with the gatekeeper professional work, that is journalism, but you see in the latest data only 1 hour, yeah, people go to mass media, print, yeah, or online, yeah, only 1 hour. But then the social media with a hybrid character, interactive, everybody could be journalist, everybody could be the expert, yeah, internet network open connected. There are also many influencer, buzzer, and also the public relations officer doing their professional job. So here also you can imagine the situation of Indonesia. For example, we have like traditional village atmosphere with the German people say Gemeinschaft, so the communal, inclusive, convergence character. And in the same time, they also live in the situation modern or postmodern, live in the cities and more open or Gesellschaft, yeah, and individualist, exclusive, and divergent. So this is happening in the same situation, mass media, but tend to weak in this latest situation, but the social media stronger. Yeah. So this is the general situation. But in my notes, actually, Indonesia also have problem with the digitalization or digitization. People talking about the concept digitalizing or digitization, yeah, of broadcasting. Yeah, this is actually people say that is the third wave of broadcasting technology. So actually, with this digital technology, yeah, actually there are, this is my notes, a series of change, yeah, perceiving is the road to the revolution of the country's communication structure. So if in Indonesia, if you are a student from Indonesia, our broadcasting now is actually very potential change to be the digital TV. Yeah, and that actually we have so many positive aspect here, because they say flexible, efficient, and then also in the same time, this high definition TV technology facilitate and enables transmission process, yeah, multicasting simultaneously, yeah, and then reducing frequency spectrum, and also this is what is that? More people to access digital TV, yeah. Digital TV is more efficient and it provides more channel, alternative of services. But in case of Indonesia, I think we are still fail. Yeah, actually, I already have studied about digital broadcasting in Indonesia since 2011, I think. But until now, the process to digitizing TV, our TV, is still failed. Yeah, because of political economy. Owner, I think many interests in TV things, yeah, and but what happened with the ASEAN, yeah, ASEAN countries, yeah, actually Malaysia, for example, they, I think, yeah, I think they are success, yeah, with this, but still in process, but more or less. Maybe here Thailand report, yeah, that Thailand transformed the TV industry through digitization, 20 million households in first 4 years, 80% cities in the next year. Singapore already have 7 channels in 2013. Myanmar, yeah, passed the first phase in October 2013. Malaysia here, I think if we take a look here, whether society take full advantage of the digital dividend is a matter of policy choice. I think they still also have problem like Indonesia. And for Indonesia itself, I think until now, the government through Kominfo, yeah, Ministry of Communication Information, still trying to transforming, yeah, but they already gave, okay, I only will have time until next year, because this is very important actually, because in Indonesia, I think that's also still, yeah, with yeah, actually only 2 hours people will see the broadcasting with the transmitter with one to many, yeah, but there is also the number is still high, 80%. So it's very important for Indonesia. But until now, the digitalization in broadcasting, for example, still blocking by the many interests, yeah, in which the private corporation dominate, yeah, how the people, what is that, consume the media. Yeah, this is about digitalization. And the second one, that's related, yeah, but I think it's more substantive. Yeah, the case number 1 is that media problem from wholeness to fragmentation. If we're talking about the social media, new media, yeah, with the character that they are very, what is that, interactive, yeah. So the platform itself is never again say about wholeness. So, for example, if you're talking about nationality, it's very difficult. Yeah, student from Indonesia, if you're talking about Pancasila, it's very difficult because everybody will join in the discussion. Yeah, so there are many fragmentation. But if I take a look, yeah, to the theory of a scenario of transformation of new media, it could be the positive and negative, but you have also your analysis, yeah, by yourself, please. Is that the positive one or negative one? Actually, there are so many positive one, but still we are survive with the negative one. Yeah, there are 2 position. If we talk mass media, actually one to many, but new media is hybrid one. So in this new media, the character is could be one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many, yeah, group to group, and very complex. So we call a hybrid media. It could be before the scenario is that new media become the complementary media for other media, yeah. So online is an alternative media. So like the plus, yeah, the plus media to empower the society. But actually what's happened now is the shifting conventional media. So everyone can be journalists, threatened role of journalists, and then journalism practice is become people have a joke like a journalism. I don't know, Mbak Ita, how to express like what is that, like opera, opera, like only talking the trivialization, very not substantive. So before, journalism is very important as like the professional work, but now it's everybody could be journalist. So my department actually really threatened by this, because communication department, we have like a vision to have students becoming the journalism in the future. But now it's happened like this. So journalism in transformation, fundamentally. And this transformation actually can be positive or negative, either to the functioning of democracy or its contribution to the quality of the public sphere. That is the principle actually. But with the new brand of journalism, there are three kinds of factors. There are speed and space, for example. The speedity is very important in the new brand of journalism through digital journalism. Multiplicity and polycentrality, interactivity and participation. So what happened actually with the speed and speed and space, actually the positive assessment, actually we can think that more space, more news. So there are new possibility for news presentation, archiving, more depth of coverage, update regularly, presented in innovative and interesting way. But the negative assessment, the other side, speed it up and spread it thin. So very fast, but very thin. Not really substance, and speed and cannibalization. So I don't know if I read the news in the online media, that's crazy for me. That's actually they only talking something that really not bring good things to the public. So very trivial. So with the very bad quality. This what happened, I think, is this one, the negative one. So they speeded it up but spread it thin, not thick one. And then regarding the multiplicity and polycentrality, actually online journalism is climbed to over audience, a view of the world that is more contextualized, textured, and multidimensional than traditional news media. Multiplicity does not always translate into diversity. Mainstream newspaper with online version use a fraction of their print story with similar news judgment. That's why somehow we have the new the same information for all of us, like the viral one. People, each of us will know, whether it's not really useful. So somehow we confirm the stupidity of others. So someone stupid share it, and then we confirm, that kind of stupidity. So news outlets, this is study office communication, this is from England, 2007, that news outlets of all kinds often tell the same story from the same perspective, using much the same material. So multiplicity, but somehow not directly bring the impact of diversity, because the same that they share. Interactivity and participation. Everyone can be journalists, lively, openly subjective, highly critical, one of fragmentary commenter, lack of accountability, verification, and accuracy. And this opening the floodgates to unverified, deprofessionalized gossip. This is a very important issues in journalism today. And then detriment original report. So journalists becoming robot hacking, like yeah, the way robot what is that work. Practicing journalism, not journalism. Yeah, produce more articles in less time, and fewer journalists gathering information outside of the newsroom. Yeah, so they just sit. What is that? In the computer and just hack. Yeah, from their room. Yeah, never that journalists know what is that. Come to the what is that a place and then make it and create really news. Yeah, that's very what is it different when if we talking about the press before. So press in changing environment. Yeah, if we compare that the characteristic of the press in conventional sphere is one to many, the presence of the gatekeeper. Yeah, so there is one that have a role to keep, yeah, or like the gatekeeper. So they will select, oh, this is very useful for public, oh, this is not good, and everything, etc. And journalism is softwares to inform or not to inform. So there are some board to select, yeah? And then the competence, the professional one, the observer of the reality, the observer in the modern society. This is the conventional sphere. And now with the characteristic of the press in digital sphere, experiencing evolution. Yeah, so journalism experiencing evolution according to the character of the medium itself. So no more digitalized, yeah, using internet, and it means network, yeah, and experiencing a journalism transformation. Yeah, every journalist adapt with this new situation, but I don't know if they live within the unhealthy, yeah, institution. So maybe they become just robo-hack, yeah, not really journalism. And then 2, 4, 5 revisited, yeah, according to medium character. So really, what is that? The situation is critical actually, and the report from 2020 World Press Freedom, for example, that journalism in many countries in this digital era face the converging crisis, yeah, and then affecting the future of journalism. For example, yeah, we already have experienced global public health crisis, and that makes also the journalists position in media, yeah, operations, they face a very hard life and aggressiveness of authoritarian regime. This is also happened in many countries in Southeast Asia, Myanmar, for example, and Thailand, yeah. Technological crisis, yeah, so digital itself brings the crisis, yeah, and then impact how the what is it, the observer society or the journalists face this kind of situation. And democratic crisis of trust, yeah, and also economic crisis. So in Indonesia, for example, last year we talking about so many media outlet will die, yeah, and we thinking about how to save them. Yeah, the Bapenas, for example, the ministry. Yeah, but until now, we still don't have really the exit strategy for them. And happening in new media, yeah, this also very what is that important to know, that echo chamber. Yeah, people talking about echo chamber. What is actually echo chamber? Actually, the echo chamber in politics is like a metaphorical way to describe a situation where only certain ideas, certain information and belief are shared. Yeah, so people inside this echo chamber will only encounter things they already agree with or disagree with. Yeah, so without free movement of idea and information, people inside the echo chamber will believe that this is all there is. Yeah? Under this circumstance, anyone who disagree is misinformed at best and willfully ignorant at worst. So like the experience that if you already becoming the proponent of someone, so you will search, yeah, the profile of him or her, and then you always agree with what he or she doing. And another side, if you doesn't like, or you don't like somebody, and then you will also, what is that, with the artificial intelligent work, so you becoming in under the closing echo chamber. And this what is that, like the weakness of the new media actually, why people then becoming so fanatic, or in two group, for example, in Indonesia, also in the political atmosphere, we have the experience how the echo chamber work. And like this fake news, for example, is always the problem, on change in online reach for selected outlets by audience trust, the problem of trust, we have kind of issue. So this is the lower trust, often popular brand or those with partisan reputation, and the higher trust, often public broadcaster or commercial brand with long history of accurate news. So the problem of trust in the society actually depend on how the media that lead in the society. But for Indonesia, that's very pity, because we don't have public broadcaster with a very long history accurate news. We have TVRI, we have RRI, but they still have a problem with the brand itself. I don't know whether the new generation what is that, follow the program from them. But here in this research, actually in the new media hybrid situation, the media with the very long history and accurate news will actually very helpful to construct the reality in the society. But the lower trust here, a brand or those with partisan reputation, if you related with our condition in Indonesia, for example, if you're talking about Metro TV, TV One, sorry, I mentioned some brands, but actually we have problem with the thinking about the partisan one. So actually we have really the problem of lower trust in the media, and then here also from study trust is up, and so are trust gaps in society. So here, for example, if you compare Asia Pacific, Thailand, Singapore, Australia, Indonesia is 39. So this is the what is that overall trust in all country. And how then Finland, for example, remains the country with the highest level of trust, 65%, having increased by 9 points, while the US now has the lowest. US also has problem with the trust. We also find growing trust gap between news source. People generally rely on the news they find in social media and search, which remain unchanged on like for like basis. So the construction of trust itself in our society now is together between mass media conventional and the new media one. So this is misinformation, the proportion that finds its platform most concerning. In case of COVID-19, for example, you can see here 28%, misinformation. Facebook in Filipina, Slovakia, Indonesia, maybe with WhatsApp, messenger application, in what platform actually misinformation happen. Here is in Facebook, 15% in WhatsApp, 7% in search, and then YouTube contribute also. This is the fake news in 2021. So give you the general what is that side regarding the trend. And then shifting trends, platform, news devices, phone, and here you can see that WhatsApp, WhatsApp is Indonesia is very high. I don't know, maybe because we are the collective country, so we are very happy to share everything with everyone in our network. So Brazil is also very high, Here, Philippines, 50 is Facebook, yeah, this is very high, but WhatsApp in 11, yeah, point. India, WhatsApp, yeah, like us, and Nigeria, but in US are Facebook, yeah. That's why these several platforms that mostly influence us. And then come also profile of TikTok, yeah. TikTok is becoming the new platform, but it's actually a big problem with that, because more entertaining in my side, yeah, in my perspective is the media and communication perspective. And this also, yeah, smartphone, computer, tablet, we have that. And I will make it faster, so we have time for discussion. The problem of impartiality, yeah, come up in this digital era, and then public service actually is very important, like a BBC with long history, with a strong brand, yeah, is becoming the actor, yeah, very important in the society. But yeah, Indonesia is still fighting with that. And sustainability of communication, yeah, financing commercial news, yeah, is very important, yeah. That's why Singapore intervene their structure, so they intervene the practice of the private commercial news to change it, becoming the public media. So the state give the money to make the journalists more safe to doing their professional work. And yeah, this is the impact. Yeah, maybe I just show you. It's maybe about technology and democracy in Southeast Asia. So the latest data showing that really digital environment is challenge for democracy. That the problem crisis democracy and the rise of digital authoritarianism could be, yeah, maybe we can connect with the data. I don't know, that's Freedom on the World 2018. This one that emboldened autocrat, yeah, Billy God democracy, and the United States withdrawal from its leadership role. But yeah, now is better, I think, with the new president, yeah. But this one is also something that we could highlight, the rise of digital authoritarianism. So from the 65 countries assets, yeah, 26 have been an overall decline. So yeah, decline, and then in almost half of the country where internet freedom declined, the reduction were related to election. Maybe in Indonesia 2024 will be the time that's very important. And yeah, well, rising digital authoritarianism for Indonesia, I think the situation is better. I mean, the democratic, good, yeah, the situation is good, but because of freedom itself, so the construction of reality somehow there are no authority in that, so very freedom, yeah, in some point. And then this one, yeah, some paradox, yeah, although the freedom in internet or people goes to internet very free to see, but if they compare, yeah, if we take a look also the problem of the authoritarian regime also come up. So this one is internet freedom decline in 25 countries, while only 19 made gains, most of the gains minor. Indonesia, I think, I don't know, Indonesia, yeah, Indonesia also have the number is also reduced in some point, because the government also launched cyber drone, yes, like technology intervention to crawler system, yeah, to use artificial intelligence to proactively detect content violation, yeah, and flag content for blocking, for example. So the government use technology to control. That's also another problem of the digital situation. And this one, yeah, Indonesia is partly free, yeah, together with Malaysia. I don't know Malaysia, this is 2018, but now after crisis COVID-19, maybe they have problem. Singapore, stable in that position. Cambodia, Philippines, and Myanmar, I think is a very sad story in the Southeast Asia. So the future of Southeast Asia in media and communication issue, some countries place new media a symbol of resistance or struggle. Thailand, Myanmar, Singapore. For Indonesia, new media is a platform that spreads the infodemic, for example, because of we are very freedom. The situation is a bit different with the other previously countries. But it is urgent that we need adaptive system of media and communication responding the dynamic of new media supremacy. So I would say there is the supremacy of new media now in Southeast Asia, and we really needs that to strengthen the public communication system to create a wholeness atmosphere as counterbalance to fragmentation in social media, and otherwise it is possible that instability in many aspects will happen in the social system due to open struggles between many elements in society. So there is the feeling, somehow we have a very step forward, but another side we have so many things to do to make the balancing in the structure in media and communication system in the society. So Mbak Ita, I think that's from me, and I hope that this very small perspective will give you some insight about the latest development and what we people from media and communication science thinking about the latest situation. Thank you very much, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Prof. Hermin. This is a very interesting, very calling, very timely topic that we can discuss further. Unfortunately, we only have 10 minutes left, but I believe that everyone has something in mind. It may trigger something in mind. So please, I would in the chat room, we have 2 questions. It's from Elo. Please, you can directly ask your questions to Prof. Hermin, Elo.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the presentation. My question is more to politics perspective. So I want to ask. The first question is actually in Europe, I think also in every part of the world, we divide the power in 3: legislative, executive, and judicial. And after the growth of the media, the normal media like TV and journalists, they become the 4th power. And today we have social media and new media. Do you believe the social media and influence that is the 5th power that can be changed or manipulate the opinion public and also affect positive or negative on social life? The second question is about it's very good have a good digitalization. However, you will see yesterday there was a slowdown of Facebook, WhatsApp, IG, and it was after I think the panic in all the world. Just Indonesia, because Indonesia was already midnight, but in Europe was the 5 of the afternoon. So there was really the panic, and people can check so on. But if you think a slowdown in large scale, I mean, where the digitalization will block, will be like the catastrophic problem. You think it will? I mean. We need to be a balance between no this and digitalization. The last question is, do you believe then if we will be put on digitalization, we will create an Orwellian society where all people will control and you will not more have the liberty of freedom? For example, in China, through WeChat, if the people make like comments not good for the government, this will automatically delay. Do you believe also any also Indonesia or other Southeast Asia countries will be through this problem in the future, of course? Thank you.
Thank you, Anilo. You have so many comprehensive questions. Actually, the first related with the whether the media now is becoming the, before we say the fourth power, yeah, and then now is the fifth power with the social media. But at that time, the context is more or like about the balancing. So there are legislative, there are executive, there are judicative, and then the media will control the three of power. Yeah, but now is, I think we have the situation is not really what is that, in a good situation. I mean, we cannot put anymore the media becoming the fourth estate, or yeah, more in the fifth estate, for example, because the what is that, the structure itself, yeah, people still live in the high situation. So they are very excited to share everything with the social media, for example, and it makes somehow the quality of discussion is not really represent what's happened. Because like in Indonesia, the proponent and the opponent of the political power, for example, they always have like the buzzer follower. Yeah, so they make it what is that, trying to intervene at the perspective with unhealthy ways. Yeah? So if you doesn't like with somebody, then the follower of that body will persecute you, for example. That's very bad situation actually. I think the internet is really open media, so people itself make the what is that, the rule of the game. But if the quality of trust, for example, in the society is not really good, so it will be happen. So you will bring your buzzer, you will bring the influencer to support the idea that actually is not really a good idea, for example. So in that kind of situation, is very hard or difficult to say that media becoming the fourth or the fifth estate, at least if they what is that, trying to fulfill the minimal requirement for the healthy discussion. For example, that in society, in communication, Nilo, that we have like the ideal vision to reach the rational decision. Yeah, how our quality of the communication will serve you to come to the rational decision. Yeah, in this situation, very sorry to say that the quality is more in trivialization. I mean, that's very, what is that? Not in a bad, not in a good, yeah, condition. The information is very thin, and then the data is somehow is not really strong. So yeah, maybe I still have a pessimistic position now, yeah, but if the situation is better with the structure and everything, maybe what is that, the situation will better. The Orwellian society, yeah, okay, yeah, could also happen in Indonesia. Yeah, that's also some what is that, concern from many actors in Indonesia, how to, what is that, to make new what is that rule of the game. So the government is not control everything because they have a very full power to close everything. Like in case of Papua, for example, that makes Indonesia reduce the point. Yeah, so in the freedom of internet, and then they somehow cannot open the reason why they just directly close, yeah, what is that, the website or everything. Or maybe you also follow some facts in Indonesia. If the government can just, what is that, persecute you or just make you have a trouble if you what is that, accuse someone, and then there will be very long story related with the defamation things and everything. So that's also some concern. So in other side, we trying to control the freedom itself, how to give the inspiration to government to control with the healthy ways, yeah. And also for me myself, actually something that we can control is related with the public communication system. But I think the government still very partial to put this public communication system. They always think to make it better the internet, so the regulation is in internet. But for me, actually, to make it better, media, new media, actually you can make counterbalance system with other media. Yeah, so in Indonesia still crucial because 80% still what is that, watching TV, for example. So not yeah, or 170 million, but around 100 million is still very potential what is that, society or citizen. Yeah, and is that yeah, another question, hyperdigitation even of media broadcast is happened with okay. Oh yeah, for me, what happened in the 4th October is a very bad experience that never in the history of life, yeah, that the global depend on one corporation, and that I think should be what is that, we have to very serious to discuss to exit from this situation. For example, also Zoom, yeah, I think in Indonesia no people use Zoom to facilitate public interest, yeah, like us today with the what is that, summer course connect you from all over the world. But if Zoom itself has problems, so what will happen? So I think yeah, China is kind of a very special case, yeah. But we respect how they adapt with, and then already have like what is that, the calculation, very right calculation that it is very dangerous if you open everything to other country. In this cases with America, for example, people thinking about the privacy and why the condition is so bad when we depend only on one corporation, only on one country. For example, this I hope that make open discussion in the society, especially in people in media, communication, yeah, to come to the regulation, the policy, regulation, how we have to doing something as the alternative for this domination of a big corporation. That is my answer, Anilo. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Hermin, and also everyone. Today it's really interesting. I don't dare to conclude anything because it is the other way around. Prof. Hermin's talk really triggered us to think more about our dependency to the media and everything. And I hope that it will lead us to be more critical, and you also may write your essay, of course, in this topic. So again, thank you so very much, Prof. Hermin.
Thank you, Baita.
Thank you, Hermin. We will continue with, yes, we will continue with the second speaker.
So I will say goodbye to everyone. Yeah.
Oh,
Enjoy your course. Yeah.
Ermin.
Bye.
thank you, Prof. Ermin.
Thank you, Mbak.
Yes. Okay, maybe everybody may have a 1-minute break. After that, you may enjoy your water or your coffee. And then we are waiting for Masidik to join us. Oh, he is here already, I think.
Halo, Ibu Ita.
Yes, welcome, Masidik Harimadya. So to continue the heat of our morning talk, we are so lucky to have Masidik, who is focusing his research on social media and infodemic during this COVID-19 crisis. Masidik is a digital sociologist at Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia, and he has a research interest in the relationship between the internet and society. Some of his publications address issues related to misinformation, datafication, and social interaction on online platforms using combinations of methods from ethnography and social network analysis. Masidik, we want to learn from you today about social media and infodemic during COVID-19 crisis. The scene is yours, please.
Thank you, Ibu Ita. Thank you, Ibu Yuyun and all the company for organizing this summer course. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Sidik. I'm from the Department of Sociology from UGM. Let me share my screen, Ibu Ita. Okay. Okay, so thank you for having me. Today, we are going to discuss about social media and infodemic during the crisis. Infodemic, this is an interesting term, very often mentioned when we talk about or questions why the COVID-19 is very easily spread, why it is very difficult to handle, why health authorities can seems like facing difficulties to stop the spread, to handle the spread of the virus itself. And the infodemic tell some stories here. Yeah, the false informations related to the infodemic. I'd like to start my presentation through these stories. This is a paragraph telling us about what the infodemic in Indonesia, especially, look like. I quoted from the viral tweet on Twitter by user Helmi Indra, and it's reposted by some mainstream media. I guess the user is male. He posts a story on Twitter that goes like this: "Hoax had made my father die after suffering COVID-19. Sorry. My father died because he believed in false information spread on social media from WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. False information are there, such as hospital patient would be most likely be COVID can or most likely be arbitrarily diagnosed with COVID. COVID death it's caused by COVID medication rather than COVID itself. And COVID vaccine is haram and so on. And many other things like this have been widely circulated on a WhatsApp group and Facebook. From this small story, there are two things that become my concerns relating to why infodemics are very dangerous. The first concern is the users who believe in false information. The users, someone who think that information they consume through social media, they all are true. So the problem is on the users, on the netizens, on the public. I also concerned with the platform that are enabling the circulation and the spread of this infodemic. Yeah. So here, the problem is not only about the users, but also about the new media, the platform, because the circulations, the content are easily, rapidly circulated from the social media. So there are two things that would become my concern in my presentation here, the user and social media. 3 points that I'm going to discuss with you in this session: the scene of infodemic, then the problem of the definitions, because there are many terms when it comes to infodemics, and there are many keywords that I think you have often exposed, the word like hoax or misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and I think many other words that it makes it difficult what we mean when we talk about false information, when we talk about hoax, what we mean, how it works, and how it could be easily spread. And the third one is the challenges. So instead of summarizing, I would like to pose some points of the challenges why infodemics is very difficult to combat. The scene of infodemic. Last year, I wrote a chapter for conference proceedings. And the title is Misinformation Order. So I examined the COVID infodemic in the context of Indonesia. I focused on the digital contents to look out the pattern of the content and how it is spread on social media. So I'm using the semantic analysis to know what becomes the characteristic, in terms of content of infodemic in Indonesia. I try to map out the theme or the main topic of the contents that are identified as misinformations in the early COVID time in Indonesia. So between January to March, last year. I try to identify the major themes or the major issues and find that the picture I try to zoom in my finding. You can see the circle there and the red circle there. I tried to identify the most or the major issues that become the content of infodemic. Yeah, there are 4 main themes there. About the policy, the effect of the COVID, the infections, who get infected and so on, and the prevention, the story, the news, the fake news about how to prevent the COVID-19. This is the major topic, and we can find the patterns when it comes to policies. For example, who are the figure or the politicians or celebrities, for example, that are targeted from this infodemic related to the policies in COVID-19. The effect, for example, how this fake news or hoax increases the sentiment for anti-Chinese, for example. So this is the pattern that can be easily detected. So from this mapping, I can identify that the infodemics is not just illiterate users or illiterate netizens shares the things that they don't know or the things that they like, but there is an entity or a group that deliberately try to send a propaganda or try to mislead the people or try to make a burden for government to solve the spread of the virus 19. So this is very political agenda, infections and the preventions. I also like to look at the trends of infodemics in the context of Indonesia in the early COVID times. So as you can see here, we have 2 first confirmed cases on the beginning of March, right? But infodemics, it has been spread quite widely since the virus itself identified, confirmed in Wuhan. So infodemic Indonesia came first before the virus itself. And you can see the trends here when it reached its peak and when it decline. And I think until now we still very easily see some fake news or hoax related to this. So the trends are telling us that what health authorities such as WHO, World Health Organization tells us that we are facing two double diseases. Yeah, we are facing the COVID, the virus itself, and also we are facing the misinformation about the COVID. So two kind of disease, and both are dangerous. So here you can see we have it before the real case confirmed by authorities. Which platforms are used for spreading misinformation? Again, this is in a national or local context of Indonesia. Facebook are most frequently used to spread misinformation, and then WhatsApp. The note here on the point, the triangle or circle or square you see is a platform and type of misinformation. And you see the links between, for example, Facebook and misleading content that are thicker compared to other links. Yeah, it means that Facebook was the most frequent platform that are often used to spread misleading content. The type of misinformation that are misleading content. And then the second one, WhatsApp. Also Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, but it's not very often. But so the infodemics are shared across platform, of course, and now we have other platform, right? Yeah, such as TikTok, and so it gets more dangerous and it gets more easily spread using social media. These two platforms. So when we talk about infodemics, we think that platform also have a problem with this, because they become the medium where this misinformation or disinformation spread. Yeah. These are some type of misinformations. And last month, yes, I co-author a book chapter, trying to look at more at the local level in Yogyakarta, the content of infodemic in the context of post-truth. So I studied using ethnography to look at how public responses to the COVID policies in Yogyakarta. Yeah, I tried to look at the trends whether the public trust the institutions of government in handling the virus, or quite skeptic or apathy towards any policy that government make to handle the COVID. I focus on to social media content here on Instagram. Humas Jogja is an official account in Yogyakarta that regularly share information about COVID policy and COVID information in these regions. And then I try to select these two different type of content. The first content is when the first case confirmed in this region. So it attracted many social media users to involve in the conversation. And I try to read through the comments and try to make a code and try to interpret what does it mean, what when it comes to public response to these informations. And then the second content is about the extension of this emergency status of Yogyakarta. So they have this policy that the status of emergency in this city of Yogyakarta are extended and extended again, and how public respond to this. And then I try to, let me move this. Okay, so I try to categorize the public responses into four types: aspiration, sympathy, satire, or apathy. So there are four types of public responses and how they respond to those two contents. As you can see from the graph on the slide, that the response in the form of aspirations are in a sub-decline, from March to July. And public responses in the form of apathy or skeptic is increasing. And if you look at the data after this month, I believe that the trend is similar with this. Maybe public becoming more and more apathy, and even after we can, or at least the government can handle the COVID, we are not looking for more information about the treatment or COVID medicines. We're more likely to find information about the vaccine, because some maybe believe that COVID cannot be cured, but we can prevent using vaccines. So public becoming more and more apathy. And in the context of infodemic, where misinformations or other false information are easily get from new media, it's getting more and more difficult for health authorities to make sure or to manage the flow of information for the government, and it has impact in terms of policy, of course. Now, those are the scenes of infodemics in the national and local context, in Indonesia and also in Yogyakarta. Now we come to the problem of definitions of what misinformation, and it has implication to the policy. So the problem of definition, I think, should be resolved when we talk about the infodemic. What we mean by infodemic? Is it a form of misinformation that are shared on social media, or a political propaganda, for example, to confuse a public to get the valid information about the COVID-19? Some scholars try to define what information is, what misinformation is. Bonagru and colleges, for example, views misinformation as a form of information disorder that are escalated more rapidly in the digital age. Other scholars, such as Bennett and Livingstone, for example, call the spread of misinformation, especially through social media and website, disrupt the democratic institutions, disrupt the communications initiated by authorities, health authorities, especially here. Global initiative like First Draft classifies, refers to Alan Wade, 2019, classifies misinformation into 7 types. I identified only 5 main types of misinformations in Indonesia in the early COVID times. And Epstein defines misinformation as information that is false but spread unintentionally. That is what it makes different with disinformation, for example, that are deliberately created and spread to gain profit or to mislead people. But misinformation, according to Epstein, is spread unintentionally. So the problem is most likely on the user rather than on the platform. Then I try to map out the using of the terms in public realm, in popular mind, how people, when dealing with infodemic or other kind of false information, using the terms. In Indonesia, in the case of Indonesia, we have few terms related to false information, such as hoax atau hoax, and fake news, berita palsu, and misinformation. There are another term like disinformation, disinformasi, berita bohong atau kabar bohong, and many others. I try to look at this trend using Google, so trying to capture what terms people use when they are searching for information using Google. And you can see here the term hoax are most widely used, most frequently used. And then the term fake news or berita palsu, is no people use that. It's interesting because it's quite consistent over the last 5 years, from 2016 to today. It's very consistent, people using the term berita palsu. And misinformation is not very popular. It's not quite popular, but the trends we can see is more or less similar with the hoax, yeah, even though in a smaller amount. So you can see there are two periods of time, two moments here where the term hoax reached its peak. So people using this term very often in this period. I think you can guess why this reached a peak. And then the second moment is here, yeah, is in the beginning of March. You can easily guess that this is the moment of 2019 elections, yeah, in Indonesia, where the hoax or people talk, post, consumes the content about hoax through Google are increasing, yeah. And then this is the moment of infodemic. So infodemics is very contextual here. It sometimes depends on the social or political context that happens in a particular country. In Indonesia, we can see that 2019 is political year, and then March 2020, last year, is when the first COVID case is confirmed by authorities. So it very much depends on the political content. From this graph, we can also guess that maybe infodemic or hoax or berita palsu or misinformasi can be an instrument of political agenda or another agenda, yeah, because this is a picture of the trend that are make us questions why only in this period the trends are increasing and only in this period the trend are increasing. Still, in terms of definitions, if we can divide simply false information, we can divide into two types, disinformation and misinformation. In terms of intentionality, disinformation is digital content, yeah, or information that are deliberately created or spread, yeah, with the purpose of creating harm or making profits. And misinformation is different. It is spread unintentionally, yeah, without an intent to cause harm. So if we classify false information into these two categories, then it becomes more clear what are the interventions the government maybe or the platform or us as the users, yeah, can make. For example, this information is better suited for regulatory laws and legal actions. But if we think about false information in terms of misinformation, so social campaigns or digital literacy movement are more suitable, yeah, to combat this problem. So in Indonesia we have, yes, there are many, so there are many digital literacy movement, digital literacy initiative, seminar, and so on, social campaign to combat fake news. There are many grassroots movements or even top-down policies that we have here, but it only solves part of the problem. Because if the problem is not the false information, is not only misinformation, but also disinformation, so we need more intervention. We need the role from stronger institutions such as state and the platform. Yeah. And in between, the role of the platform to moderate the content is very important, because the new media or the social media platform has become the arena or the medium, yeah, where information and also misinformation spread, yeah, and consumed by users. This is our challenges. Why misinformation very easily spread? Yeah. There are 4 points that I highlight here. First, the degradation of the standard. means that the standard of quality of information that are circulated and accessed by people, yeah, is getting lower and lower. Why? Because there is no we yeah we now we can very easily share something or consume any information that we like, yeah, without the role of authority or without the technique of filtering that the era of conventional media have. Yeah. We become more vulnerable, yeah, because of the increasing of the new power such as platform. Platform even can play a role as a state. They have masses, they have their own citizens called netizens. But the problem is they have power to moderate the content, but they don't have the content. So they cannot easily, we cannot easily blame the platform for the spread of misinformation because they don't responsible of the content. They only provided the services. So this has become one of the main problems. And then the last one, who should take control to regulate? The degradation of standards, yeah, because speech, interaction online will no longer need the permission of the state or media corporations or editors and so on. Yeah, so there is no like standardization, quality of information. And the online world has afforded greater opportunities for unfiltered expression of individual opinions. This is the one of the variable why fake news, misinformation, disinformation increasing quite easily today. We become more vulnerable. Yeah, we have more and more information, but less and less time, at least to verify or to evaluate the validity of information. Yeah, we are exposed by so many information. We can always find information that we agree or disagree. This is an is, of course, but then ironically, we don't have time to verify too much, but too less. Yeah. Rapid information transmission becomes our culture of instant communications. Our interaction and communication become very instant because the information transmit very quickly, very rapidly. And the echo chamber or filter bubble and political polarizations make us vulnerable because we are very easily to be subject that are targeted for commercial interest, for business or political interest. Yeah, because through platform they know our data, they know our digital behavior, they know what we like, what we post, and then they can target us through the machine of algorithm, and they can manipulate our behavior. The power and platform also, it is getting more difficult for authorities, especially in the state, to take control to regulate disinformation or to combat the misinformations. Yeah. Social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook at the beginning have declared that it exists to give people the power, yeah, to create or share ideas, yeah, to share information quickly or instantly without barrier, to make open information, to make more open society. This is how they declare at the beginning. But we cannot deny that these companies profit from ads based on user involvement, user engagement, and user activities. Yeah. So, of course, when more and more information and misinformation spread on social media, more and more people engage or online using social media, so more and more profit come to these companies. Then the question is, what can we do? Who should take control to regulate? We have two options here in terms of an initiative to regulate this problem, these informations, the government and platform. But the government regulations is usually very slow to respond to innovation, especially digital innovation or involving newer technology. And it's become more challenging because when government take the role to make a regulation, we need an expert who can understand how to regulate this hybrid media environment and independent from the industry. And it is not easy to find this team of experts to formulate these regulations, yeah, and making policies that are objective as possible. Because regulations such as ITE law, yeah, UUIT, yeah, is often used by mostly by political elite. So it's often become an instrument from the elite, yeah, to serve or to protect their elite positions or their status. So making policies that are objective as possible is becoming more challenging. Platform has self-regulations, yeah, but these regulations often initiated, yeah, to provide effective self-regulation that couldn't disrupt their business interests. So it most likely always biased to the business. Platforms such as Facebook has an internal team to moderate or to combat the problem that has to do with its business problems. But we need the platform should create something like internal team to that focus exclusively to combat misinformation. And also making the platform to be more transparent in terms of ad financing is very important here, because very often fake news, especially in terms of disinformation, yeah, can be easily spread without user knowing why he has to appear in my feeds, or why this content has to appear in my social media, who fund this sponsored post. User do not know where this comes from. So making a platform more transparent is an effort to try to make misinformation or disinformation less and less appear circulated through social media. So I have a questions, or maybe you have other questions that from these phenomena that we are facing during the crisis, during the COVID crisis, we have infodemic. How I think all of us as a social media users, how can we save ourselves from the spread of false information? This is a question just to trigger the discussions, because we have so many programs of digital literacy movement. Government has ITA law, UUIT, but still it is difficult to combat. Are we going to live along with, like we live with COVID-19 because we cannot make it disappear? And then we also should live together with infodemic, with information in this digital age. Are we going to live the world like this, or something has to do to at least reduce or minimize the spread of information? But as a social media user, what we can do? And this is becomes the question for discussions. Thank you. If you have a comment or questions, or share your experience in your own countries, what the infodemic look like in your countries, please just give a sign. Thank you, Ita. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so very much, Mas Sidik. This is of highly important, relevant, timely topic that we should discuss further. apart from the question which was raised by Masidik himself, there are two questions already in the chat room. Maybe Masidik may respond directly, or I will add. I will invite Mbak Eli Suryani. Please unmute your microphone and raise your question. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, it's very interesting talking about the new media. And as we know, new media was born many rich people, not just human people, but political or artists. They have YouTube channel and they have fee for they create the content, yeah. And just they make the content, upload to YouTube, and they get likes, subscriber, and then if according to YouTube requirements, they and then they have fee, yeah. But they do not pay taxes from the content created, and also no professional tax too. Yeah, and I also thanks to the Undang-Undang Penyiaran that created YouTube and then Instagram Live too, yeah, because they considered that the internet-based broadcasting arrangements in this article were ambiguous and caused legal uncertainty. Thus, they requested that broadcast service providers via the internet be regulated in the broadcasting law. So many people thinking it's better to just be a creator. Yeah. So please give us explanation for this problem timely. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bu Eli Suryani. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Our government have tried so hard to tax Google, Facebook. I think government Ministry of Finance have a target to tax, I don't know, 10 or something trillion, yeah, in rupiah, but then only half of them. Well, I mean, this is a tensions between the power of state to impose the power into the new powerful entities such as social media company and platform, but it's more difficult because they have they are powerful, very powerful in lobbying. They can intervene in regulation that we have tried to design. Yeah, so intervening with taxes is not easily, of course. I think they have more budget and more what is it, the power of lobbying in designing the regulations in, I think, in many countries, not only in Indonesia but also in Europe, for example. The budget for lobbying is especially hard, yeah, to defeat, and some regulations are even they regulate, yeah, the role of the platforms. I think the challenges is more, what is it, let me say, ideological. I mean that how far we have to make this ideology of internet freedom, yeah, where the role of platform or social media platform are, yeah, can be really accessed by anyone from across the world, from our country, or we have to put the limit of their freedoms. I mean, when you, for example, you provide the social media services, but we Indonesians, we have the user that produce the contents. If you want to save our or put the content into your storage, you have a limitation. You have to comply with our rules, with our regulations. Are we powerful enough to impose that political positions? I think the challenges is more to limit the power of the platform. But again, there are some narrative that when they dealing with the regulation that are trying to protect the what is it, the user or the citizens, when the state impose taxes, for example, or give limits to the role of platforms, the innovations or the funding for innovations will become the burden here, because the platform, what is it, should be much regulated. So this is about the freedom of the internet versus the role of the state, yeah, to limit the freedom or the role of the platforms. I think and I think it's more challenging. That's why we have many ideas of taxing them, but again and again we lose in lobbying and negotiation.
Thank you, Mas Didik, for your response. We may continue with Mbak Aning's questions. Mbak Aning, you may open your mic, please.
Thank you so much, Bu Ita, for the opportunity. Good morning, Pak Sidik, Mas Sidik.
Thank you, Ani.
Okay, the social media development is create a freedom of speech medium to discover the truth. However, it's also create a back effect for the society. Right. I will give you an example with the Charlie Hebdo tragedy.
Oh yeah.
That spreads all over the world and become the discussion whether it's freedom of speech or not, whether we should limit the freedom or not. And for Indonesia context, as you mentioned before, we have a ITA, information and technology, but it also have a paradox articles that may create an abuse from the political situation or condition. I will take the example of Otto Rajasa cases that post his Facebook post that he actually criticized how the Aksi Bela Islam 212 in Jakarta. But my question is how we make it will be a difficult for me. I don't understand about it. How we can minimize the interference of the politics in this such of social media because of with the regulation that not clearly define what is a freedom of speech, what is the specific form of freedom of speech. It will easily abuse the users because of their content. And why I said that? Because maybe some of us have an account that we make it private, not for the public. Is that part of the part that should be treated the freedom of speech or not? Thank you so much.
Yeah, very interesting and very difficult questions for me. How do we define the freedom of speech? Can we label this kind of act as violation to the freedom of speech, or this is a political agenda? What become my concern is the role of the state to, I think, the protect the minority wherever they are, in France or in Indonesia or in other countries, because the minority are very vulnerable and the majority has relatively more privileged positions. Now the state should take a stand to protect this in creating the more evenly or just distributions in terms of I think to create the justice in society. So it's really really difficult questions, but I believe that any kind of freedom has its limits. So it should be very sensitive with the condition of minority there. Yeah, that's why what happened when Charlie Hebdo erupt in France, or we have also 212 di sini, very phenomenal political movement. And to minimize how the effect or the role of the role of politics. I mean, when politics, I mean practical politics, where the political elite involved in spreading information of propaganda to serve their own position or status. I think the problem should be addressed more by government and also by platforms. This is not about the problem of digital illiteracy. It's more about how problem can take actions, and also platform can take actions to this, because internet, today I think it has become what scholars, Leslie, if I'm not mistaken, called the gentrifications of the internet. So the online sphere now, they are all under control of few elites. They are under control of people that have powerful, such as public figures, politicians, influencers, or celebrities. They invite many all spheres. That's why we find that the role of influencer or buzzer is very important in this problem. Because public, general public, now they have very minimal roles, in intervene or to create an issues, or to share some narrative, so that it can be focused at the national level. General public becomes less and less powerful, and elites, influencer, buzzer, political celebrities, those who have followers, becoming more and more powerful to produce and to steer the issues. So this inequality is more or less the same as the old story of conventional media, when the media corporations, when the state have more resource, more powerful to make the narrative, and the audience, the public, just listen or consumes those narratives. Now, internet becomes more commercialized, becomes more gentrified. So I think that really becomes the problem, and it's difficult to separate between the social media, public discourse, with the politics and the political interest from political elites, especially in our countries.
Thank you, Mas Sidik. Do you want to comment back, respond a little bit? You have 1 minute.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Mas Sidik, for the insight. But I want to address it like for Bu Ita also, and Pak Sidik, you too have a good understanding and maybe an expert about the digitalization and so forth. And I just wonder whether you are to become the influencer, so you will minimize the infodemics, because you too have the adequate information about that. And one of the professor in UGM that I follow, his Facebook that combats some hoax is Prof. Abdul Ghaffar Karim. That's a good one, because he has many followers that it's beneficial to combat infodemics. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bu Ita.
Thank you, Mas Sidik, please.
It's not easy to be someone like influential users, like Pak Ghaffar, because he has to invest some of his knowledge and energy and time, in engaging online, and then try to produce ideas there, and then gaining more and more followers. I think it's not easy. It's not easy. Of course, we all have opportunities to be influencers, but then it comes back to the resources that we have. How to convert those resources into the metrics such as followers, subscriber, and that's really, a big investment. And even though we have opportunity, not everyone can become the figure like the influencer, intellectual influencer like you mentioned. That's I wish, but I don't think that's easy.
Yes, thank you, Mas Sidik. There is one more question in the chat room from Binti Masyura. How to cope with the mindset, how to deal with the mindset of the people who have been intimidated by hoax or infodemic, because it is still circulating excuse me, I missed it. It's still circulating on various social media platforms, and not everyone knows how to filter those hoax. In addition, public knowledge is not yet widespread about the COVID-19. In my village, many people who do not believe in COVID refuse vaccination, and even though some of them are educated people. What do you comment on this?
Yeah, I think the practical way is to stay away from their filter bubble of their echo chambers. Yeah, and it's difficult because we have very strong collectivities, communal culture, and the challenges is making a distance from these what is it communality, because changing people's minds is, I think is, we cannot do this when we say that ask them to change their mind. We need time, we need something like, yeah, educations to open their mind, yeah, to be exposed with the different ideas, but it's not easy. I mean, making a distance from make them to understand their own filter bubble is one way, and making how the search engine works, how the feeds on your social media works is one way, but not easy to tell them about this, because the challenges is how not the users who need digital literacy, yeah, but how to make platform take actions. Yeah. So this is I think the changing people's minds is not an easy job. So how the main entities such as institutions or social media platform should change. I don't know the model business or anything, but maybe too radical. But it should be changed. If not, yeah, we will have more and more polarization and filter bubble. If we tell them that the vaccine is good, they don't believe us, yeah? Because they of course they will refuse, yeah? Because they have they can always find something that support what they have believed, something that confirm what they believe is true. So this is problem of our digital society. So the thing is, if we try to encourage, yeah, state and platforms to take action to this problem.
Thank you, Mas Sidik. Just to follow Mbak Binti questions, probably she wants to know more in a practical level how to deal with this kind of people who is brainwashed by this hoax concerning this COVID-19 pandemic. Do we need probably another institution to, to take part in handling such kind of problem, or how is it, Mas Sidik?
Sorry, I lost some of the voice.
Sorry, yeah, just to follow Mbak Binti's question, I think she's interested on how to deal with this kind of problem in practical level. Do we need other institutions or other intervention from other party in dealing this kind of misinformation?
Yeah, I think what we need is to make any policy going parallel, yeah, intervening in terms of regulations or legal actions, and then education to literacy, digital literacy movement. I think every kind of policy, yeah, should come into in a parallel, so that when we can intervene the role of the platform or minimize the risk of the role in spreading information, but at the same time we have an education or movements that become the place where we or people can improve their knowledge and skills about how information circulates in digital media, how information are produced in digital media. And this needs all entities, not only the social media users, but also the state and platforms that take action together. I think that's what we need to do here, because if, for example, platforms, nothing changed with their business model, I think, yeah, nothing changed with this phenomenon, with this infodemic.
Right. Thank you very much, Mas Sidik. Unfortunately, our time is getting down, but maybe Mas Sidik has a final remarks that you would like to deliver.
Yeah, this is the problem of our time, the problem of our time. Even though fake news or false information of any kind, it has been existed long and long ago, but today the escalation is very quick and very rapid. And I think the one that we can do is to encourage, yeah, if you are a scholar, for example, yeah, you can encourage the most powerful, like platform or state, yeah, to take actions. If you work for the grassroots, you always spend time to improve the skill of a netizen or internet users, yeah, to know how the search engine work, or how the digital infrastructure works, how the particular content can appear in their feeds if you're working for the grassroots level. So we have our own portions to encourage or to make other actors there to take actions. Thank you, Ibu Ita. Thank you all the participants for your question and great discussions. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mas Sidik. Dear students, our time is up with Mas Sidik, but you may still continue problematizing this kind of topic, and you may also write down your essay and addressing this issue later. Great. Again, thank you so very much, Mas Sidik. We hope to see you again in our next program.
Thank you.
Goodbye now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mas Sidik.
Goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye and good morning.
Yes, everyone. It is 11 now, but maybe you want to take a break for a minute, and then we will directly continue with our last but not least speaker for today. Okay. We will learn from Dr. Leni Winarni and also Dr. Yuyun Sunesti on the family and digital life during the pandemic crisis. Dr. Yuyun and Mbak Leni, are you on the scene already?
Yes.
Good morning. It's so nice to meet you, Mbak Leni. So I will introduce Mbak Leni first, or Dr. Leni. Mbak Leni received a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations from Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Yogyakarta in 2004, and that Diploma of French from Universitas Gadjah Mada in 2006. Then she earned a Master of Political Science or International Relations from Universitas Gadjah Mada in 2007, and a Doctorate of Interreligious Studies from the same university in Gadjah Mada. And her research interest covers a wide area of some contemporary issues: international relations, politics and religion, terrorism, radicalism, Islamic studies, conflict resolution, Southeast Asian studies. And she has published a book on the identity politics of moderate Islam groups in Indonesia. And she's currently completing a monograph on politics and religion in Southeast Asia. She's also involved in activity with women in the grassroots community to campaign family digital literacy online. So we are going to learn from her from these specific issues. So Dr. Leni is here, and then the second one is Dr. Yu Yun, our boss in the summer course. She's a lecturer at the Department of Sociology, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences, Universitas 11 Maret, Surakarta. She obtained her MA from Sociology Department, Flinders University in South Australia, and PhD from Interreligious Studies, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Her research interests include sociology of religion, sociology of gender, women in contemporary Muslim societies, religion, and urban communities. She has currently worked on research on Sharia, housing, and civic pluralism in Solo and in Aceh. And she's also involved in the study of women and digital literacy in the grassroots community together with Dr. Leni. Dr. Leni and Dr. Yu Yun, the scene is yours, please.
Okay, thank you. I hope you all well, because we're still in the pandemic of COVID-19. And okay, I will start my presentations. I will share my PPT first. Okay, you can see on screen.
Yes.
Okay. Today I will give a material about family and digital life during the pandemic crisis. Okay, first, maybe we think what is digital technology? So I take it some quote here that digital technology is based on two processes. Digitized information is recorded in binary code of combinations of the digit 0 and 1, so-called bits, which represent word and images. Digital technology enables immense amount of information to be compressed on small storage devices that can be easily preserved and transported. Digitations also quicken data transmission speed. Digital technology has transformed how people communicate, learn, and work. And the second, digital technology include the Internet of Things with next generation telecommunications network, for example, 5G, big data analysis, artificial intelligence, that use deep learning and blockchain technology. Okay, because this is the thematic issue, I think we will discuss some simple things. Okay, you know, this is the list of questions in our daily life. What the most challenge using digital technology in the family? Okay, I make some lists here. Are there any ethical issues in social media and so on? And how to manage the time using digital technology among family members? And how to overcome addictions toward digital technology? How to increase digital literacy? How to overcome addiction toward digital technology? Why does my life depend on smartphone? Why and how digital technology impact in our daily life? And you can add some more questions about this. These are questions that may often be heard in our daily life related to digital technology, including me. You can, add a list of questions to yourself about digital technology. Basically, to what extent your life depends on digital technology. Okay, if we go back to the era of 2 decades ago, when there were no such technology like this, our life were pleasant. Our life was fine. We okay without this technology. But some of our society may depend more on information from televisions and radio. In the past, perhaps radio and newspaper were the dominant source of information and so on, meaning that technological developments are like a treadmill. We will continue to adapt. The more the treadmill runs faster, the more our footstep will always follow. I make some analogy about this. The question is whether we can be wiser in overcoming this like a treadmill. We have control to the press button. You can choose slow, medium, or fast. Likewise, with digital technology, we must be able to control it. Okay, I see. Yeah, sorry. This is next. You can see this is like a descriptions how family interaction in the digital world today. I take, for example, like this. This is the aunt April said, my beloved cat Adora just died yesterday. I'm very sad. But then Pastraria like this, just like something ironic. People have a story about a tragedy, then someone else like this. So you can imagine about this. This is the format in our social media. And then you can see there's a picture. This is digital family or digital victim family. They may be sitting together, but their mind and heart are not in the same place. They just sit side by side. They are all having fun on their own. Especially during pandemic like this, we all work from home and are highly depend on technology. Okay, you can see even the dog use the gadget in here. Okay, next. Okay, I take some picture. For example, which digital family do you belong to? And the first picture, second picture, third picture, or fourth picture. You know, technology is like two sides of coin. We can use it positively or vice versa. Technology can make family relationship closer or the opposite. For example, in the third picture, you can see that the mother used a tablet to study together with her son, or a whole family is planning their vacation by browsing together to find a place to visit and so on. So it's depends on you. And okay, I continue to the next. This is our research. Me and Bu Yun, we have a survey in April until July, and we have 99 respondents, and mostly is a housewife. Sorry, female, not only housewife, because some of them is works. But you know, our respondent majority is a housewife, then employer, and 31%. Self-employed 16.5%, and free workers. We ask to them about social media, related to social media. Okay, this is our result. The majority of respondents have more than 2 social media accounts: Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Line, TikTok, and so on. And I think in Indonesia, mostly people have more than one social media. I have a WhatsApp, then I have Instagram, and so on. It's like, you know, some things we can find in our daily life. We can find it in society. And then the second, respondent social media accounts are often used in daily life. And our results, the respondents say that 97% they use WhatsApp, and 2% Facebook, and the others is YouTube. Durations of use of social networks every day, mostly answer 1 until 3 hours. They use social media. And then the second 25% more than 5 hours. Okay, you can imagine more than 5 hours using the social media. And then the last one is 14%, about 3 until 5 hours. Okay, next. Okay, this is if there is a news or information in my social media account, then I will. We ask them. Mostly answer. They would disseminate the information to another social networks again. So they will spread the informations. The seconds read it themselves, just ignore. And it just ignore the news information, only 1%. So people have a habit to share the information, whether maybe they know this is a hoax or not, they just spread them. And then have you verified the information you get from social media? You can see, say 38% said occasionally, and the others never, rarely, often, and always. Okay, and then the next question is, have you ever received incorrect information on social media and believe it? 28% said occasionally, and said never, 31%. You can see what is the results. You can make a mapping how our society today. And then, have you ever received incorrect information on social media and already spread it? Maybe they said, mostly said never, but we don't know actually exactly, because it's not like correlated with the questions. In these questions, if there are any news information, they say they spread, but in here, they said never. It's like, I don't know, this seems like unrelated. Okay, if you have checked it, how do you do it? They said they can get information from the family, ask the sender, ask the friends and others, but we don't get the answer that whether they do it like a double check, what is double check in social media? You can use like in Indonesia, maybe check fakta or the others. You can see this is hoax or not. They only ask us to the family, even maybe the family don't know whether this is hoax or not. Okay, and this is how the solution so that digital technology can have a positive impact on our life. Actually, this is based on my experience, like X hours rules. You make a double check, make the schedule and priority, so you can only wasting your time on your social media, and then you should have a me time, family time, and no gadgets. And the last is literacy digital. You must increase your literacy digital, and so on. You can add some more about the solutions. And okay, maybe in theory this may sound easy, but it takes effort and consistency to do it. And actually, I'm still learning to be consistent and switch to digital humanities. This is the last. Okay. And the conclude of this presentations, let's meditate these words. Please don't make our life being controlled by digital technology, but make us control it. So let's do it, start from now. Okay, the next material will delivered by Ibu Yuyun. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. Please go ahead, Dr. Yun, to share your concern on this issue.
Okay, okay, thank you very much, Bu Leni and Wita. Bu Leni has given very complete explanation on the issue of family and digital life, and also short description, yeah, our project. But first of all, we apologize for the readings for the student, which might not be directly related to the material we convey today, because the article from our project are still in the writing process and have not been published. So sorry about that, but perhaps a little bit give like a new insight about the case or the issue of digital and family in Indonesia. Okay, actually, Lenny and I had a joint project for the last 3 months, as Abu Lenny said before, on digital literacy for women at the grassroots level, especially mothers in Solo Raya, covering 15 villages. We collaborated with Southeast Asia Network, Deakin University, and as I said, 15 women in 15 villages. Our project has been completed actually, but we still have a lot of homework to continue actually. So here, I just want to add some notes that mothers, in fact, have a very important role in preventing the spread of hoaxes and misinformation. Why? Because mothers have more flexibility in a sense that they can be more mediators in the family and society. That apart from working and non-working mothers or as housewives, they have a stronger social involvement in society. Not to say that fathers have no role, but mothers with their multitasking powers commonly can contribute more flexibility everywhere. So from the result of our project with Deakin University and women in 15 villages in Solo Raya, we produced several campaign video about digital literacy by PKK women. What we say PKK? PKK is like the Indonesian Family Welfare Guidance Program that's exists in every villages in Indonesia. So women in the grassroots level, they organize like community in the sense of like the formal organization, but in the grassroots level. Yeah. So one of which I will broadcast here about the anti-hoax campaign on the issue of vaccines. Some time ago, it circulated on social media and became a hoax that was trusted by many people. So the issue of this vaccine also emerged from discussion among PKK women in discussion several times ago, and we finally facilitated to become an anti-hoax campaign from bottom-up level. So women in this grassroots level. This is, I think, very related to Binti question in previous session, that how community in the grassroots level, yeah, especially response and take a part in the like in the anti-hoax or anti-vaccines movement. Yeah? Here I try to show the video. Okay, where's the video? Okay. The video. Okay. Oh, I can share the video. Share video gimana? Share video. Okay. Okay, I don't know why this cannot share the video. Actually, could you please help me to? Belum saya share ya. Tapi aku mau share di sini bisa nggak? Okay, I think this one. Oh, it's ready. You can see the video?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, not yet. Okay. I already play the video. Ini? Ini kan? Ini sudah? Sorry, I have a technical. Why? Did you see? No?
It's not yet there.
Not yet. I don't.
Yeah.
Share. Okay. Share some. Okay. Did you? Okay. Did you see?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the technician.
Alah, omah kok ya disapu bendina kok ya reget bae. Ya, tenan godong-godong. Ya, sendiri.
Assalamualaikum Bu Yuni.
Waalaikumsalam, Bu Yuni. Arne ndi? Isu-isu wedian dan melitit. Gawa tas barang ya Allah. Arne ndi wis iki lho Bu, arep vaksin. Sik tak andani ini asrene asik. Ora sah vaksin yo tak kandhani. Wes tak kandhani ora sah vaksin. Vaksin kuwi medeni yo. Aku ini mau ning berita. Vaksin itu menyebabkan orang meninggal tak kandhani.
Ora ya Bu, vaksin ini penting kanggo semuanya. Masuk vaksin yang menyebabkan orang meninggal. Sampeyan ki lho, nek itu berita ki ya dikrosek dhisik, aja langsung dipercaya.
Berita kuwi wis nyebar yo. Aku entuk saka grup PKK grup sekolah kuwi akeh sing menyatakan bahwa vaksin kuwi berbahaya, mengerikan, Bu.
Bu, vaksin iki aman ya Bu. Wis entuk perizinan saka pemerintah. Wis terdaftar ning BPOM sama Kementerian Kesehatan. Lah wong wingi Pak Presiden awake dhewe Bapak Joko Widodo ya divaksin bisa. Kanca-kancaku kabeh ya divaksin ora apa-apa. Tur nek awake dhewe kabeh iki wis divaksin, ora kena virus kuwi lho Bu. Gek iso kegiatan kaya wingi-wingi meneh. Apa sampeyan ki ya ora seneng awake dhewe iso dolan-dolan meneh, ngumpul-ngumpul meneh, PKK, arisan. Sing penting kuwi lho Bu, awake dhewe iso wedangan meneh.
Aku ki yo jane pengen yo Bu, aku ki wedangan kaya ndek ben meneh. Tapi piye Bu, aku ki wedi tenan Bu. Bu tak kandhani Bu. Aku ki yen entuk berita Bu, langsung tak share nang grup-grup Bu. Aku serak nggagas. Ben aku ketok apa modern, nomor 1 pokoke Bu Ana ngerti dhisik dhewe. Nang grup ben ketok Bu Ana paling nomor 1, paling ngerti dhewe. Sadurunge wong ngerti Bu, aku paling dhisik dhewe. Padahal Bu kadang-kadang Bu berita kuwi ora tak waca Bu.
Walah, iki ternyata pengakuan sampeyan to Bu.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Bu Ir, saking pundi Bu Ir enjing-enjing kok kon breyot?
Niki lho Bu, belanja sayur kali buah kangge imunitas kita dan keluarga Bu.
Oh, nggih Bu Ir lho, iki lho Bu Yuni. Bener sing diomongke Bu Ir iki. Kita itu harus banyak makan sayur dan buah. Ora sah vaksin, sing penting hidup bahagia. Imun meningkat Bu.
Iya Bu Ana, makan sayur ki penting, makan buah ki penting, istirahat penting, tapi vaksin ki ya penting. Ojo malah sampeyan ki nyebarke berita sing ora-ora. Mosok vaksin kok menyebabkan orang mati.
Ya Bu Ana, panjenengan itu berita dicek sih bener apa ora, layan ora, jenengan tuh nyebar ke berita bohong. Lah kan jenengan kena undang-undang ITE. Lah panjenengan bisa ditangkap polisi loh Bu.
Bisa ditangkap Pak polisi bareng. Elah, ya Allah, ya wis Bu yen ngono. Aku wis ora arep nyebarke berita bohong meneh. Aku wedi Bu ya ditangkap Pak polisi. Wis kok berita-berita sing bohong kuwi tak tarike kabeh. Aku tak minta maaf ning grup-grup Bu yen aku wis ora arep nyebarke berita sing kaya ngono kuwi.
Ya Bu, nek ngono aku tak berangkat vaksin ya, mungkin nggak telat.
Ayo Bu, hati-hati ya Bu. Waalaikumsalam.
Aku ya tak masak sih Bu. Esok-esok kok malah wis gosip. Assalamualaikum Bu.
Waalaikumsalam. Mulane kabeh sedulur-sedulur yen ana berita kuwi di cross check sik, diwaca sik, dicek sing paling penting. Aja mung iso ngecek uripe mantanmu.
Hati-hati dengan berita yang tidak benar. Kita bisa terhindar dari berita tidak benar atau hoax dengan
hati-hati dengan judul yang provokatif, cermati alamat situs, periksa fakta,
cek keaslian foto, baca keseluruhan berita, ikut serta grup diskusi anti-hoax. Ingat, sebelum disebar, cross-check dulu.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is the video and our effort to contribute to the issue of digital literacy from women in the grassroots local by using Japanese language. We hope that the message can be delivered to as many as people in the grassroots level. As before, Bimpi said that our problem is actually the message of the vaccine is not delivered until the grassroots level in the community in the bottom level. So our effort here is just to make a little bit contribution that how we can deliver about the significance of the importance of the vaccine is true what the women here through their daily life, giving or delivering messages to people around them. So that's all our sharing experiences and our project. If you have also want to share your experience, please welcome. Okay, thank you, Mbak Ita.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yuyun and Dr. Lani, for sharing your current research on family value in this digital context. Please, everyone, if you have questions, further questions about this issue, you're most welcome. What happened to our family value during this digital age, particularly in this COVID-19 pandemic? What happened to that, probably? Anyone? Oh, yeah, we have question from Mbak Aning. Please unmute your microphone. The scene is yours, Mbak Aning.
Okay, thank you so much again, Bu Ita. Thank you, Bu Leni and Bu Yuyun, for the presentation. This is for Bu Leni. Is that in your research you include the question about the privacy policy rates before somebody uses social media? Because the social media, it's tend to create the needs because the awareness of the effects. So it's become like reduce our awareness about the bad impact, like you previously mentioned. And for Bu Yuyun, I have read it in chat why all the actors in your movies is all women. Is that indicates that the woman is likely more spread hoaxes than men, or is there any specific reasons to choose a woman in regarding become the hoax spreaders, become the one that have a good knowledge and others? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mbak Aning. Very critical question. Please, Mbak Yuyun and Mbak Leni.
Maybe I will answer the first questions. This is what kind of family value do you refer to, and what happened to that in the digital content, particularly in coronavirus pandemic? Okay, actually, this is not easy questions, but what is the value? maybe togetherness and spending time with family. It's not only a matter about the quality time, you say, but the quantity times. So this is based my experience because I have a children, first in elementary school and then junior high school. So I have restrict regulations, so I don't allow them to have a social media first. And actually I do control to my daughter because I have a daughter, 2 daughters, about the social media. And then I set a time whether I work in the home, because we work from home today. I will start work from 8 until 4 o'clock. Then after that, I do my quality time. I teach my children's, I teach my children's, I teach my daughter. Then I do we watch together televisions and so on. So after work, so I make a minute. I have a schedule. So after 5 o'clock, I'm not touch my works again. So I think it's about how we manage. It's about time management, whether social media or whether is there any technology or not. It's about our time management, I think. And the second question, she's asking about the privacy and social media. Sorry, you can repeat the questions.
Yes, is that you include the privacy policy reading by the user before they install the social media? Because I see that the social media create needs before awareness. So if the user is need, so we will less give attention to the privacy that we share. It's also happened to me when I installed Peduli Lindungi application because it's mandatory. So I didn't read at all, and suddenly I realized that it will have a leakage problem in our data privacy, something like that. Thank you.
Okay, actually, we have done some workshops about literacy digital in July. So we invite the professional to about the social media. They have spoke to this member of PKK actually, and about this. Before we do the workshops, many of our respondents, especially from the PKK members, say they don't know about this. They don't know about house policy. They don't know. They just install, and then okay. And sometimes maybe not. This is not about members of PKK. Maybe ourselves. Not only that our respondent don't know how to check it, don't know this will have an impact in our future about how we install our social media. And yes, after the workshop, then we have slight testimony to them, and they said, we just know about this about this knowledge that we should careful how to browsing in internet like that. We accept the cookies and something is like linkage to our database, but maybe because we are in the society, we ignore about it. We even don't care about it. Is this what its impact on our life or not? Maybe because we just ordinary people, so we not think that this will impact in our life. But maybe if I'm president or I'm Mrs. President, maybe this impact in my life. But maybe we just are ordinary people. We not ignore it. Just it's okay. I will install it and I share. I spread this information. Cares like that. Oh, okay, I think this is a good advice, and maybe if we have next project about this, we will have about this, discuss about it. How should we aware about this? This is about awareness. This is not only to housewife, maybe we, educated people, even they today, not only that housewives, but educated people actually have an impact in hoax. You can see the educated people, they spread the hoax. It's not about the negative, but maybe in the positive ones, like they spread information about health, about COVID. Even though they never know about the COVID stuff, they're not a doctor, but they campaign on WhatsApp to WhatsApp group, the other WhatsApp groups, and say this is the cure of vaccines. This has happened. So hoax, I think, it's not only in a negative, but also positive. It could be hoax. And okay, thank you for that advice. I will note this for our projects next. Thank you.
Thank you so much for paying attention on that, Bu Leni.
Thank you. The next question, maybe Dr. Yun may also comment. What impact has the unequal distributions of technologies had on children and schools? Do you think that the ITE law is a provision solutions for the non-diffusions of hoax and potential danger to freedom of expression?
Okay, I will answer I think the last question from Anning first about why we choose women. Actually, thank you for your critical question. But this question also come to us in our very early and in my initial project with the team, that if we choose only women, so perhaps many people say that our have a gender bias, yeah. But then we think that this is a very short project, and then we have to focus on a special target. So then we decided to just focus on women first. Perhaps the next project we will focus on the other gender, yeah, men and women. But I think yes, no gender bias in here. That we just use the power of mothers here. The power of mothers in our society is very, very strong, right? So why we choose mother? Because mother is, as we said before, like can be a mediator in the family as well as in the society. They have very strong influences in the family. I have a community in my villages on the West Bank, and initially we try to invite men and women to sit together and to discuss on the environmental problem in our villages. But then most of the participants are women. The women, perhaps 90% women coming, and then no men. I mean, this is not about the gender bias as well, but the power of women in their multitasking role in their family. They are very full energy in the family, yeah, but also they have also a challenge. They have also motivation to contribute in the society. So I choose women because of that, not because women only women get the lack of digital literacy, not about that, but we just use the power of women. And the second one is because women are also the very good actress. You know, when we ask them to produce the video, that we just facilitated, because I think this is important to collaborate between the community in the grassroots level with the university. They have many resources resources, they know their problem in the society, but they don't have facilitator to express and to express and to make their ability to coming out. So we facilitate it, to process this, and this also benefit for all the society, their community, and the community in the wider level. So yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Yun. Maybe you can also address the second question from Elo.
Yeah. We know that I have two children, and they also now learning from home, and we know that is very difficult for us as the parents to balance about what actually they have to do at home and for the school task. So when, like Dr. Eni said, that we try to limit the children exposure to the technology, but because the learning from home, so we cannot limit that. So we just give my children like the mobile phone for the study, but then the impact is wider than that. So yeah, perhaps Buleni can give continue experiences on your children.
Okay, actually I give limitations to my daughter they don't have social media until maybe 10 years old, and I use like I control it what they posted or what they friends and social media, something like that, because actually my husband is IT, so he really know what is the social media have a negative impact. And it's like not only we can addict to social media. For example, when you're searching a movie, like I want to know about the movie in this month, so it's like linked to other movie, and we curious about what next movie, and it's like linked to you. When you click advertising, you want to search about flowers, then in your internet, when you're browsing something that advertisements like follow you. That's how the social media or internet works, like that. So if we only see the bad things and we link it in the bad things, we can see the other sides. That's how the social media works. And it's like we don't have the right proportions between this side and the other sides. For example, like the presidential election in 2019 between Joko Widodo and Prabowo Subianto. If you choose Prabowo, you not see the good of Joko Widodo, because you choose Prabowo. When we choose Jokowi, you not see the good things from Prabowo. It's like this, because we just only works in one side. So that's how social media works today. So we can observe in two things. And the second is the question: do you think that ITA law is prevention solution for non-divisions of hoax? I think for now, this law is the best policy, I think, because this is not just a matter of freedom of expressions, but how to maintain politeness on social media. Now I ask you, in which country the people can freely say inappropriate things to the lead, to the head of states, to the presidents. I think it's maybe only Indonesia can say about the hate speech to the presidents. So we should develop a critical speech, not hate speech. So yeah, we start from now how we build the critical speech. So people like politicians in the order only say it about a hate speech. They only critique the government, for example, but don't have a solutions. What solutions? We should develop this, a critical speech, not hate speech. Then critical speech can be built up from literacy, digital. So I think it's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Can
Thank
I
you.
just comment? If
Unfortunately, you have 2 seconds. Yes, please. 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Thank you. I just want to say how we can understand what is hate speech and critical speech. Because, for example, Pak Anggif say about Charlie Hebdo. For my opinion, Charlie Hebdo was not hate speech, was just critical speech, because I freedom to speech if I want, relate to president, no matter what. It's my right to critical. But from other context, many people see this like a hate speech. So how you can understand this hate speech or critical speech? Thank you.
Okay, if you do critique, you must give a solutions. But hate speech, there's no solutions. They're only critics. That's my point. Okay, so the people just critics, say the bad things, but they don't have solution. What is about solutions? Give them. That's a critical speech. If the governments have a wrong policy, we should have a critics. So we have a solutions. This is the right. This is the right you should do, Mr. President, like that. Not only this is the bad, what is said in English about Jalan Tol, sorry. What is Jalan Tol is a bad. When they do campaign, they say, this is a bad idea. But what is the solution of this? How we can make a linkage between the area and the other areas and very faster? There's no solution. It's just only critics. That's what I mean. You can see, you can difference between the hate speech and critical speech. The hate speech is some things without solutions. That's what I mean. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much. I think this is very interesting. Dr. Leni and Dr. Yuyun, our time is getting down. We should give time to our fellow brothers who are about to do the Friday prayers. So thank you very much, everyone, for your active participations, and we will see you again next Monday. We will learn about ecology, economy, and also religiosity in digital Asia. Thank you so very much, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prof. Yuyun, Bu Ita, Bu Leni.
Thank you. Yes, everyone. Oh, I think, return back the microphone to the scene to the MC. Shall I?
No.
No, okay, all right. It's all right. Okay. I'll see you next week then.
Thank you, Elo.
Thank you, Mbak Yuyun,
See you Monday.
See you Monday.